So when we were talking about the yogis, you mentioned something very beautifully when their Muladhara chakra is open and very strong. I mean, can you explain what chakras are and what role they play in our life?
So you must have seen a diagram or a picture of
Yes.
chakra where they show that the chakras are, they are aligned along with the spine. Those are indicative areas, I would like to say. To just understand and help people focus in that area. It's not necessary there.
Okay.
It's an indicative area, right? So chakras are, I'll tell you what nadis are, and this is all yogic science. So anyone who is trying to understand this from a modern science point of view will not understand, because this is not an intellectual understanding, it's an experiential understanding. So nadis are the carriers of the prana in the body. Prana we call the vital energy, right? And it's much more than that, but just in simple words to understand, prana is the electricity that is running your thoughts, your mind, your emotions, your consciousness, your intellect, every existence of your being. The same mahaprana is the universal energy. Like for example, sun, heat in the outer world is present in different forms. Within you, it is the Jataragni.
Okay.
Right? The digestive fire is essentially a reflection of the sun within your own system. So that's also a part of Mahaprana within your body. So that's what we mean by prana. So prana is running in, just like how blood runs through veins and vessels in the body. Prana also runs through different nadis, right? There are 72,000 nadis in your body running from one point to the other. Now, chakras are a place where these nadis get entangled, so they cross.
Okay.
So the accumulation of the energy is apparently higher in that area. So that's what we call chakra, right? So wherever they coincide and meet, that's where they get entangled, and the energy accumulation is higher in those areas. So concentrating on those areas will further expand the energy. And once the energy expands, so every chakra has a certain capacity. Like a bulb, a 200 volt bulb can only take a 200 volt,
Correct.
right, energy. And if it exceeds, it's going to move up somewhere. Either the bulb will burst, or if you have another bulb connected to it, it is going to pass on that energy. Likewise, when the energy starts rising through, with the help of the sadhana, with the help of the consciousness rising, the Muladhara has certain capacity. Once that capacity is met, that's what we call chakra awakening, by the way. Like the full capacity of that chakra is met.
Okay.
Now the energy will start rising up, rising up, rising up, rising up, rising up. It rises up otherwise also. But when the full capacity is met, that's when we call the awakening of the chakra.
Okay.
That's when we say that the chakra is mastered. Right? उसको पूरी तरीके से साध लिया गया है, उसको मास्टर कर लिया गया. अब all the functions, the gross, the transcendental, the mental, emotional functions of the chakra are now in the control of the sadhak.
Okay.
Right now they were controlling you, but once you master that, now they...
What blocks the chakras?
They are not blocked, by the way, right?
Okay.
So blocked in the sense, your consciousness is right now at the lower chakra. It's not that the others are not working.
Okay.
How did you feel that moment of bliss?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
How did you feel that?
Yeah.
Now, if you say, oh, my other chakras are blocked, no, they are operational, but your awareness is down. So what yoga meditation essentially does is, it raises your awareness.
Okay.
From one chakra to the other to the other. So that's how it starts rising. The consciousness starts rising, in a simple word. So if there is a wire connecting all the bulbs, you would see, if the electricity or the power is less, it will light one bulb.
Correct.
That too very faintly. Like that, like that, like that.
Right.
Once that energy starts increasing, it will light one bulb, then the second bulb, then the third bulb, the fourth bulb, and the last bulb. So that's what we call raising the prana. Once prana starts raising, it will start lightening all the bulb eventually, one by one. So that's how your consciousness evolves, your thought patterns evolve, the way you perceive the outer world changes, the way you perceive the inner world also changes. And physical health, fighting diseases, tejas, ojas, optimal functioning, long life, all that is just a byproduct.
Okay.
Now that's what we need to think about. So yoga, you asked me one of the myths. Yoga essentially is not designed, essentially in the traditional form, was not designed to fight illnesses or diseases. These are the gifts along the way.
And these just happen as a byproduct of wow.
So the yogis didn't do yoga to cure diseases.
True.
They did to reach the higher
Truth.
level of consciousness.
Right.
That long age, that youthfulness, and all of that is something that they got on the way as a gift.
And it's so misunderstood that people run behind this, not understanding the true essence of it.
हाँ मतलब कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है इफ यू देखो कैसे भी कर रहे हो योगा बहुत अच्छी बात है आई ऑलवेज से आई नेवर से ओ नो यू आर नॉट डूइंग इट फॉर हायर कॉन्शियसनेस देयरफॉर यू आर नॉट दैट्स जजमेंट
Right.
that's very bad. What I'm saying is, even if you're doing this, just know the fact that there is a higher path. There is a higher path. Just be aware of it.
Okay.
That this is not it.
Mm.
This physical fitness is not it.
Mm.
It's a byproduct.
Mm.
That's
Lovely. As we come to the end of the podcast, Grisha, I've had such an amazing and insightful conversation, and I will remember this conversation for a really, really long time. But for all the viewers who are watching this, what would your message be for them?
My only message to everyone is, people say, what should we do? What should we do? What is the purpose? How should I? I always say, try to be the human that nature created. If you can do that, you are giving the greatest gift to the humanity. Imagine, go back in time, human had the desire to evolve consciously. Now today we have become so comfortable. Even though we have all the amenities, we are becoming more and more miserable. More and more miserable, right? So what we need, all of us, is to become the human being that nature and God had created, right? Not the Maya and the social world had created. So anyone who's listening to this, my only and only request is, don't do yoga because you have to do it. Do it so that you can become your optimal self, right? Trust me, each and every human being is born with certain duty, certain purpose. That is why every human is different. You are different. I am different. This person is different. That person is different. And by birth, we are different. Not just the way we look, even our nature, even our prakriti. You are good at something. That person is good at something. That person is good at something by birth, by nature. Why do you think nature has gifted you that? Why do you think God has gifted you that one capability, one uniqueness, what certain blend, So identify that blend and hold on to that and find the purpose. And yoga, mindfulness, sadhana is something that guides you. Guides you, it protects you from the external fluctuations, takes you inside and connects you that one instinct, that one character you were born with, because the real purpose of life lies in that.
Yeah.
It lies in, you were born with it.
Yeah.
You just forgot on the way what you were born to do. Each one of you were born with a purpose. We forgot that on the way because we got derailed. We got influenced. Maya did its job really well. Of course, it always does. She wins over our hearts and minds. But what essentially yoga does is brings you inward. And if you really want to be, see, I'm trying to lure you. If you really want to be successful, then going inward is the way. Is the way. Trust me. So try to go inward as much as possible. Don't do yoga for... Even if you think that you are healthy, very good, I'm very proud of you, but you still need yoga. You still need mindfulness. You still need to go inward, right? So do it so that you can find your purpose and you can benefit the humanity and society in a better way. That's also be the human that nature created. I always say that.
I am in a way kind of not very happy that the conversation has come to an end. But thank you so much, Grisha. I mean, I have no words to say. What a brilliant conversation this was, purely for us to just dive deep into most of the questions. I mean, like you said, be in the flow. I'm like, half the questions have not even asked because I felt something else needed to be asked at this point of time
Yeah.
so that it would just benefit me and so many other people who are watching this. Thank you once again for doing this.
I would luckily take all of these places if I believe that it is me answering these questions. But I will bow down to my gurus, to this sadhana most importantly, which has enabled us to touch certain areas of life and share the anubhav. So all we can do as human being is not share the knowledge. When you share this, is just an information being imparted, right? But when you speak from your heart, you speak from your anubhav. So I'm really happy that sadhana has given me a little bit of anubhav to even express the same knowledge that has come down from our gurus in some way or the other. We are always failing at doing justice to this because we are very much ahankari. But I feel we have immense grace of our, gurus, and especially this sadhana and, yoga and scriptures. Wow. Like, we are able to talk about it. The fact that you are able to talk about it and you're using the words to express it is a big thing.
Yeah.
It's a big thing. So thank you so much for this wonderful conversation that we've had.
Thank you, Grisha. Thank you.